Hi Sagittarius, welcome to my Psychic and Tarot channel. I'm going to be doing a reading for mid March to the end of March 2019. Before I start my tarot reading, I had done a meditation for you, and I want to be able to share with you what I saw in that meditation. I saw that there was someone coming up from a trek at a campsite and had reached the campsite and smiled to themselves because the trek was exhausting and they had been able to look at the tents that were pitched and they were able to spot their tent, and that brought them a lot of happiness to be able to see their tent from afar. And what you see here is that they seem to be very happy to be in a circle of like meeting these amazing people that they do when they live this like what we would call a nomadic life. They seem to have a recognition of their home based on like knowing, like when they go there, yes, that's my home, rather than a geographic location which says this is my address and this is where I live. They used to do that, but there was something that was not bringing them too much happiness and they had to go and make more temporary homes. The good thing about having a home which was made out of brick and mortar was that at that time they had more stability in their relationships, intimate relationships. In the new way they have started living, or in this way where they feel they're intuitively guided to where they're going to live, they have very magical people that they meet along this journey, but not all those magical people take the same routes as them. So they meet them and then they leave. So there is something which is lacking in terms of being able to be sharing this amazing journey with someone special. And there's a little bit of confusion as to which way they're going to go. The temporariness is what they have on their mind right now. So let's see what we can do to like help the Sagittarius folks understand that better. Looking for guidance for Sagittarius for the last 2 weeks of March 2019. Looking for guidance for Sagittarius for the last 2 weeks of March 2019. I'm not going to do too many reversals, guys. If there are too many cards reversed, I'm going to change them. Bottom of the card is the Eight of Pentacles. I'm going to change these around. Okay, let me go through the cards we have here. The Nine of Swords, the King of Coins, the Eight of Coins or Pentacles, the Queen of Swords, the Five of Cups, the Hanged Man, which also was reversed, the Page of Cups, the Queen of Cups, and the Two of Cups. Very nice. So Sagittarius, there seems to be a lot of different energies that you're playing with. There don't seem to be, and our bottom of the card, sorry, I forgot. This is the Eight of Pentacles right here. Let me put it where there's no glare on it. Yeah. So the Eight of Pentacles tells us there's someone who's very hard at work and is very focused on what they're doing and are in a place of like doing some kind of study further on whatever it is they are feeling inclined to do. And the same thing seems to be, it's like as if this is another version of this card, is shown here in the Three of Pentacles, where a person is very being very productive and very hard at work, maybe even thinking of like new business ventures and ways to be able to invest themselves. This Nine of Swords, there seems to be something that's worrying you. So this could be even the worry about, like, there are things you get by staying in one place, and there is like adventures to have when you're ready to move around. And right now there is a you're inclined to be choosing the moving around option because it's giving you a number of adventures, but it also is taking a few things away from you. So maybe that's something that's on your mind, but basically it's there's something that's keeping you up at night, and it's something probably you need to speak up about, and something that you need to be able to sort out. In like, I think you're overthinking it, and you need to like let it rest, because these are the things that keep you up at night. It's not like something's actually happening, the swords are not touching you, but it's just that there seems to be the thought of something that can happen seems to be worse than whatever it is that's happening, and nothing bad is happening. The central card here, and I'm jumping to this because there seems to be a central feeling of this sadness, which is what was indicated in the story too, where you see the person who looks like upset because there's something in the past, or the things that they have emotionally invested in that have not worked, and now it's like as if whatever was lying in a place. So it's indicative again of me seeing that now there's something, because they're moving, they have to pick up these emotions and travel with them, and the ones that they had lying around don't seem to, something happened, and these are not working. So there's some kind of sadness still associated with this, in spite of having more options going forward. So there needs to be some way in which you look at these things. This is not the end of the road for you. It's a number five card. We are only like halfway through this game, and there's many more adventures that you're going to have, and let's see how things move forward. It looks like if the story that came to me was very indicative of like relationships being something that they could not be, were not able to handle, but we'll come to that because there's lots to do with relationships here, and this is indicative of relationships that have not worked out in the past, and now there are maybe more options, but the person has this feeling that maybe in some way they're not going to be something that will bring them uh, a full cup of emotions, or to be able to have a relationship that they can take forward. But let's see what's happening. That's just like, these are just like flash images. The King of Coins, very stable energy, a person who may come across as Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo, and so this person is like very grounded, and for some reason this person here, if this is the energy that they have, that they've come out of, or they are exuding, and there's like a connection with, there seem to be like options for very very stable relationships, or a stable relationship with a man. So if it's a woman who's looking for a man, or if it's a man looking for a man, there seems to be a very stable man around you. And I don't even want to complicate it further to say it could be a woman with like a man energy, because this looks like a man who's like there to make a home and a family, and is going to be like your rock. And the person is working hard on their own also. So what they are doing is making investments for themselves in the future, and this could also be investments for a future where it will be more than just them, but they are like making investments for like a family. Now, having said that, there is also energies, if this is an energy of a man, that there are two like lovely women that are surrounding him. One of them is highly intellectual, Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius, loves to be able to engage in really good conversations, has the ability to be able to keep emotions out of a situation and go directly and have very clear thinking, and also comes from what I would say like a very good family, and they come from a very stable and good home. in some way. And it's like they are the people who are considered like someone who would be like well off or doing well for themselves, their family is doing well for themselves. There is also surrounding you energy of another water sign woman who's very nurturing, so very different women energies who are like one of them is, or I feel like maybe one of the people who you had in your life or has been an influence in your life was a very nurturing, very loving, very I mean, it could be like a Cancer, Scorpio, or a Pisces woman. Highly likely that they were a Pisces who is in some way someone that you're missing. This is what's coming to me, that this is the person that you seem to be like missing. But it could also be the energy of someone who, because you're missing, you have the ability to attract that kind of energy back in your life. Right now you're not making any choices. For some reason you do not feel like in the place to be able to invest uh, these remaining cups, and you can see there's going to be hope. But right now there is something which is keeping you at pause, and you seem to be in a place where you are uh, going to think through this situation. You do not feel things are clear because you do not know what choice you are going to make, whether you are going to go to a place which is going to be your home, or whether you are going to go to a place where you want to be on the traveling adventure. Again, your sign is Sagittarius. You all are big travelers. You thrive on the adventure of going to new places, and traveling abroad is a big thing for you. So, right now, you've put that at pause. I think that you are not moving forward either because you're on the adventure right now and don't know if it will last, or you are at home and are like, I don't know if this is because I may want to go on to my adventure. So there's some kind of thinking about that, but I think the full moon this time is going to give you a clear. There seems to be a lot of moon energy, and I think it's all coming because of the moon that's coming up now. But if you see that there is also a young, so this energy of these two cards here is like there is this young uh, partner who, you know, has a little bit of like a boyish look. And there's a partner around you who has a very boyish look, and they are wanting to like offer you some kind of cup. So there's like lots of options over here. There's one, two, three, four options here, and these were the things that were worrying you. But let's have a look at this and see that it looks like the outcome of this finally, when you like move forward, you are going to be in a place where you will see that these cups that you're holding on to right here will manifest as the cups of the couple. And this is in the two of cups is like a twin flame card. So I think that when you finally find someone, I think you're going to find a partner who is going to be able to move it's feeling like the partner will be able to move over the oceans with you very willingly, as will you with them. So it's not like they're only going to follow you, you will also follow them wherever you go, and it'll be, you will feel a keen uh, there's something about you which will feel like as if it reminds you of some kind of like a first love, that a feeling of like a first love that's going to be coming back, and that's going to give you, when you feel like that, you will start feeling these feelings that that's something that you want to be able to invest in further. Right now there is some work to be done. Maybe there's also right now, because you are not wanting to take a serious um, make a serious commitment to all of these people who surround you. There is also a relationship which you have kept, which you've not gone forward with, and I think that that could be giving some impression to your to one of the partners or to your partners, that there's something which is not serious, and the way in which you are not committing may look like as if you want to keep more than one option open for yourself. So You have to see how there is sometimes the energy of the Three of Pentacles, where you will choose which, partner you're like flirting with or moving forward with. Right now you're like kept like everybody in a place where they think that there's something or something brewing between you, but you will finally make a decision when the time is right. Right now the time is at pause. If you see, there is an hourglass here, but the thing is, you have to look within yourself. There's something that you have to see that will give you clarity, and you will be able to see the hourglass here and see yourself in this mirror, which will be able to tell you where you want to go and who it is that you want to be able to do things with. The other thing that I see here is that in the past there has been a lot of the reason you're not wanting to go, uh, or there's a hesitancy. Maybe the travel's an excuse for not finding the right partner, because I think there may be that in the past you've made too many financial investments in partners, and maybe you've been wronged in some way with that. So think about what you're doing with, in terms of like spending money to be able to in your relationships. There's a time to be able to be a provider, but there's also a way in which we use the ability to show ourselves as financially well off, in terms of being able to not do so much work on ourselves but be able to show how much we can provide materially. And the thing is, after a while you will be able to see a relationship for what it is, and if it is based on the comforts you provide someone else, those are the relationships that don't last very long. So I'm feeling that there's a second layer. One of them is that you need to be able to not just keep dropping money uh, to make yourself in some way more attractive. You're Sagittarians, you all are very attractive people. Your persona is attractive. The way you conduct yourself is attractive. Uh, when you make keep too many people as options, that's not so attractive to many people. So I've heard. But the outcome of this is that you will find a very special relationship and a very special lover. I think this could happen for you in the summer, around, again, like I said, around some kind of water body. I'm seeing that there will be some kind of relationship that will bloom, and there will be someone who will be offering, you will be offering a relationship to, and they will like want to be in a partnership with you, and it will be a beautiful partnership. And it involves you being very, this card also shows us that there need that you want some kind of binding relationship. So there will be something where you will try and make it a little more formal, not just a girlfriend. It's like you will want a commitment. What? What? Want a commitment with this person. You can see the cute faces in this. That's what I see. So it looks hopeful. I think there's a lot of people you're juggling. Don't flash your money to be able to attract a partner, because the partner who's looking for money will want an endless supply, and suddenly they're not going to love you because uh, just for you, because there was a lot of cash padded in when you like started interacting with them. So be careful about that. Don't think that what has not worked out is going to be exactly how it is. The relationships that have not worked out are taking you into the future to where you need to go. I'm trying to look and see what else I see in this. I and like I said, you could also be in a place where you are going to meet this person, learning something or doing something, because that's something. If this is turning out to be like more of a romantic romance reading, a love relationship for Sagittarians would happen where you're going to learn something or do something which is new. So either at work or at some kind of place where you are doing something new in terms of learning, or maybe even while you're like doing some what is that, there's like people who are doing this exercise that looks like this, where you're going to like do hanging from like these ropes, and you do a lot of acrobatics from the ceilings. So that could be a place also where you would find someone. But there is something about you looking in the mirror and a mask falling away that I'm seeing. So while it looks like the situation is not working because you're moving, or you want to stay stationary but then have to give up on the adventure, I think you will find the right person where you will be able to be in sync to move from one place to another together and have a partner to do that, provided you take your mask. There's something that you feel, there's some low self-esteem issues, and I think that you have to be able to move forward in being able to first see what that is and where it's going. So I see this, I think this is the kind of thing I'm seeing, which is if you are a young, you coming across as a younger energy, and I don't mean only in age, I mean in the way in which you what the in terms of the courage you have to be able to put yourself out in a relationship. You want it to come from a position of either like, you know, fully realized woman who's a queen, or in the position of a king. That's where the match is, unless of course you do find like a young page yourself. Let's see what some of these cards are. Seven of coins. This is telling us that there is things that have been set in motion and are going to come to harvest, and the person is going to patiently wait for that harvest, which is exactly what's happening now. There is something where you need to patiently wait for whatever is coming to you. You've put all things in the right place. The Ten of Wands is a card where I think that yes, there's a burden of something which you want to be able to put down. Maybe there's something maybe you're doing too much. Maybe you need to do a little less of something, because this burden is too much for you to carry, and it's making you like feel like you're crawling. On the other hand, if you look closely, let's not look at the triangle of the wands here, but this is what it looked like in that image where the person's coming out of their trek. So maybe too much trekking is causing a burden for you, and that could be like the answer here, where you need to probably like figure some other kind of adventures, because I don't know, uh, do the treks, but I think that there may be something, I don't know, maybe your back is hurting or something is not being able to support the extreme sport aspect of the trek. The trekking is fine. It's like, I think you're trying to like do something about being on the side of mountains or something, which is, or do some kind of CrossFit training, or some kind of extreme exercise. And I think you need to like re-look at that, because you don't want to be at a place where your like back is hurt. I don't want to keep picking up these cards, but Eight of Wands is a card of communication. So there needs to be, I think, when I picked it up, it was reversed, but I'm not doing reversals. But the thing is, there needs to be communication, and there will be fast communication, definitely, like internet, webcam, or like whatever you're using for like Skype, any of those things that will help you to stay connected to the people you want to. And I think you're communicating with a few people, so you will see that there is going to be one of them that you actually feel is more special, so to say, than the others. So I'm going to stop picking these cards up from here, because we've reached the King of Wands, and it makes me really happy to be able to see the King of Wands energy, because that's like the fire sign energy. And I think that you are going to reach this once you have some of these things figured out. So I don't see other things as problems, and I'm not going to look at this anymore. But I think that there's something that you need to do, look after your health. I think that there may be something that's like physically actually like stressing you out. You have the ability to operate from a position of your king, communicate with those you need to. I think you're communicating with a lot of people. Some of them are just plain entertaining and fun, and people that you have like really sweet, fun connections with. But there is definitely one of them that's coming across to me as super special. And you know who that person is. And for some reason you're like hedging your bets right now with that person. I feel you're not ready because you don't know where you're going to land, whether you are going to be in a place which is moving or in one place, and you are like going to be busy doing some work, or this is where you're going to find yourself. So that's what my reading is for you today. If there are women with women relationships, you're going to, find someone who's going to be like a puzzle piece that fits you. If they're going to be two men in this relationship, I feel someone will be much older and more established, and one who's going to be much younger and more enthusiastic and very expressive in love. So that's the energy I see for same sex relationships. Uh, in heterosexual relationships, I feel someone has met someone who's highly intelligent, very intuitive, no, cuts through all the BS, and one who's like warm and fuzzy and just like very loving and very nurturing, and wanting to constantly like uh, feed you and nurture you, and like like just a big Cancerian mama. So, or Pisces, or maybe even Scorpion. uh, but a person who can go through like the emotions with you, and the other one who's like cutting through the chase and just saying things as they are, very direct. Less emotional, definitely one of them who's less emotional. You'll know when you meet them or you interact with them which is which. That's what I have so far, and I hope this has been able to answer some of the things about moving and being here. The your hesitation you had in figuring which worked for you. Staying here gave you the stability in relationship, but otherwise it didn't give you much. And moving around gives you the ability to interact with very fascinating people and personalities. I think you will be communicating with a lot of those people who are fascinating, and right now that's what you are using. You have the ability to be reflective. If you see this person who's like exercising and going crazy here has the ability to get dressed and look like this and this. There's something which is like this person can transform and grow up into like being this man. I feel there's something you're doing in some kind of physical activity or exercise that seems to be a big burden, but you need to be able to keep an eye out for that. I don't think you need to like remove it, but make sure that it's not hurting you. And there's something in, don't worry about what's God picked for you, right? You, if something is there for you, you've already put things are in place, and you're seeing that things are blooming. So there will be signs of things that are going to come to fruition around you. And I think it may be even like around like spring that's like coming up. So I think in spring you may have some news about something that will be indicative of where you're going to go and what direction you're going to take. It's not going to be a person in a stalemate position for too long. I'm going to take out an oracle card now for us to be able to see what Unicorn Oracle has for us as guidance. Give us guidance for Sagittarius for the month of March 2019. Guidance for Sagittarius. Growth. Yes, see, there's something that I feel is going to grow from being like from a young boy to a man. Seek out a mentor, a guide. Take baby steps as you grow. Be willing to learn from others. So this is I feel that there's something in this where I think this may be some a place where you may also be growing to. So this is a time of growth for you to understand yourself from a place where you're like walking where you are to have wings to fly to where you want to go. I'm going to take out another one from the Brian Weiss. I think it's like a spirit, mind and spirit healing oracle. I've written the name at the bottom of the reading. You can't be afraid when you are feeling love, since everything is energy and love encompasses all energies, all is love. I know that love dissolves fear. So don't be fearful. Love is going to surround you. First, we have to have self love, work on our own self esteem, and then we will attract the right partner, because very often the partners we attract are from a place which has another agenda, because we are wanting to be in an intimate relationship or in a partnership or have someone to share our life with. And very often we uh, come forward in those relationships with all of these what I call like accessories. How much money do you have? Do you have a house? For many people, these are things that are, the deal clenchers, and I can understand that. And this is not a judgment, but for a person who's going to have that fluctuate, you want to have a partner who's happy to come and stay with you in your home, and you want to have a partner who's happy to go on like adventures with you and live off the side of a mountain in a tent. So you need to not only move with one angle, you need to be able to show them all of who you are, and that's what you need to first be able to see and recognize that for yourself, and then you will move to a place where you will be able to see how you will everything is love, and aspects of you that you are trying to deny are also love, and it's going to be able to give you what you want, and it will dispel the fear that we have of recognizing who we are. This fear that you have is going to go. This central card of fear of feeling like left out or sad about something is going to go once we have this, and we know that love encompasses all energies. Everything is love. This aspect of you is also loved. This aspect of you is also loved, as is this aspect of you which will be loved. So don't worry about that. That's it. That's what I have for you. It looks very hopeful. There are people around you. Sagittarius, I hope you have a great rest of the March, and I will see you in April. Bye.